Somebody is here already. Guys, I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. Time for some more bus time with the bus driver. All right, get back to where I was. All right. We're going to hang out a little bit and do a little question and answer and kind of just commune. Once again, I was playing guitar right up until the thing, and I don't know. One of these days I'll play live. Mr. Wolf, Dizzy Dragon. There is my girl, Shelly Monberg. Thank you for being here. I love you. James Davis, good to see you. Ian S. Paul Langeal, good to see you. Miss Hermit Hill, Kentucky. Manuel, good to see you. Colt Blaze, good to see you. Love you too. Loopswell, thanks for coming back. Chili Monbird. You know what? Big shout out to my girls in Australia, Harper and Mia. I love them so much. I don't know if they're watching, but I told them I'd give them a shout out. Let's heat it up. Okay. Start it off with how about a yellow snacker? Hello from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I used to know a girl named Nova. We had so many nicknames for her. I called her Nova Scotia, Nova Cane, Supernova. I had so many nicknames for her. Charlie Mullins, how's your mom doing, man? Hope everybody's praying for Charlie's mom, man, or good wishes, positive vibes, whatever you do. His mom was in an accident. We're all worried about her. Hi, Mark Fisher. Good to see you. This pepper is a yellow snacker. Why so all the yellows? Number one, they came from Tom Broom, and just a great friend of mine. This is what he had available, and he sent them to me because he loves me. He's a great guy. He knows that yellow pods are my favorite. They heard and said, "We love you, John Wah." They have 100 different nicknames for me, you guys. Anyway, they're plentiful. He knows I love yellow pods, so. Lennon is right, Johnny, from Liverpool, UK. People, I love the UK, man. Glenn Curtis, good to see you. You're a beast. Nothing but respect. Thank you, man. Charles McClellan, good to see you, man. Good evening, Johnny, and all the bus riders. Hoping everybody's having a wonderful weekend. Simon Martin, g'day from Australia, mate. Uh-oh. Got another Scoville in the house. My baby brother, Tommy. My 4th birthday. You guys know that was my 4th birthday present? Tommy Scoville came home, and it was my 4th birthday present. True story. My mom gave it to me. The story is, I said, I want a fire truck. What is this? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. I know, Mr. Wolf, the citrus in those pods tastes so good. Here's the thing. This is terrible. I'm a pepper junkie. Before the video, just like last night, I'm going, okay, I can eat a couple snackers. That's the last of the snackers. I have some yellow. I have 2 killer yellows, which are yellow Primatalis. And I still have a bunch of lemon yellow brains. So Tommy, Harper's girl, Bree's girls, Harper and Mia, call me John Wah, and now they're calling you Tom Wah. Oh my God, I can hear it. Dizzy Dragon, Metal Music Maniac, good to see you, dude. It's interesting because orange tastes a little different than the yellow. They do. Orange do. They absolutely do. I'm telling you, orange. Green. Look, if you eat a jalapeno or a serrano or it doesn't matter. Eat a green pod. It has that green, grassy, green flavor. They do. You know, you eat a yellow pod, they taste citrusy. They do. You'd have orange pod. They have it like a Freeport Scotch bonnet. You know what I mean? They have an orange taste or an orange bula. You know what I mean? Mustard pods do too. Mustard pods kind of taste close to me to a green, but kind of like, but not really. Almost like a more super high. But best present ever, Tommy says. You got that right. Just took a while for me to figure that out. Corey, good to see you, man. Glenn Curtis, thanks for the shout out. New to the comments. Been watching you for a minute though. Appreciate that. You know, we're rolling in on 7 years, man. Figured it out last night. I made 4,337 videos in 2,232 days. It's crazy. Boy, I could go get more peppers. But then tomorrow's going to be shy. Better not. Mike Ritchie, good to see you. In your opinion, what does the bomb hot sauce rank on your scale? It's in the toilet bowl. Come on, man. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean to the bomb, but it tastes like poison. It's horrible. And it is. It's a terrible. Nobody likes it. I mean, do you understand the kind of like chemistry approach you got to take when you use that sauce? You got to use such a small amount if you're going to mix it with something, because if you use that much too much, you ruin your meal. You can't put it on tacos. It just doesn't taste good. It's heat for the sake of heat. And if it weren't for hot ones, nobody would be buying that. Nobody would know about that sauce if it weren't for hot ones. Sorry, man. You asked for my opinion. Sorry. Good to see you, Jason Gottlieb. Citrus peppers have the late delay of heat. Yeah, there's not as much. If you look at peppers, I've said this in a ton of videos, but like if you take like 7-pot primos, there's chocolate, there's red, there's orange, there's yellow, there's white, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how they are in heat. Chocolate and red will toggle back and forth, and you got mustard, then you got the red, then you got orange, then you got yellow. That's how they are in heat. So you're not going to have, they all taste different, but the heat kind of drops, even in a 7-pot primo. So like a chocolate 7-pot primo is going to be way, way hotter than a white. It just kind of goes like that. And that carries through with every pot. It doesn't really matter whether it's a ghost pepper, reaper, that's uniform. You can count on that. Mr. Wolf, if you can't handle the heat, try tasting the difference between sweet peppers or bell. Even they have a variety of flavor. Oh, man, of course. Can I tell you, bell peppers, it's really funny. They always say if you got stuck on an island and you could only take one pepper with you, it'd be hard not to take a bell. I'd probably take a super hot just because I would miss the endorphin, you know what I mean? But bell, they taste so great. And like orange and yellow bells. I mean, I like green, but orange and yellow just, man, they're like candy. Tommy says on a scale from 1 to 10, it's a turd. I'm sorry, it's funny. Yeah, I'm being honest with you, Mike. You know what I mean? The analogy I use a lot is just like Dave's Insanity Sauce. Do you know how many office kitchens around the country in the cabinet, and at office, when you have a little kitchen where everybody eats lunch? Do you know how many office kitchens have a bottle of Last Dab and Dave's Insanity Sauce? Guess where they came from? Someone bought it, brought it home, ate it once, went, whoa, I know what I'm going to do with this. They take it to work with them. Nobody buys it twice. They just don't. Dizzy Dragon, to be fair, I feel the same as about the Last Dabs. Overpriced and underperforming novelty. Here's the thing about the Last Dab. It's just like the Dragon's Breath pepper. They came out and said, by the way, I have to qualify something. The Dragon's Breath pepper, Chili Bob and Neil Price, they're the ones who created this. They're the ones who created that pepper. They're not the ones who launched it's going to kill you and it's 2.48 million and you better watch out. And that campaign was not done by them. All right. So it's really important to know that. The Last Dab, I chugged a couple bottles of it. It just wasn't as hot as everybody says it is. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's the lie that's never going to go away because people in the break room at work want to be the tough guy eating 2 million Scoville hot sauce when it's really a couple 100,000. You know what I mean? So the people that buy it like to see it on the label. The people that sell it helps them sell it. Where's the truth? You know what I mean? You'll never, Blazing Foods and Chase to Eat Hot Sauce were wickedly honest about the heat level. They're chili head levels. They're not for, if you've never eaten anything hot, you're going to think our heat levels are off. Big time. You're like, that's not medium. It gave me cramps. But these are chili head. We're a chili head company. I don't like it when people are dishonest in advertising. Nemesis, good to see you. Did you ever think, Villain. Thank you. I did. It was funny. I thought about you this morning. Villain hot sauce. Not only that, um, Hurtberry Farm. So those are the two that I was thinking of. I did. I was thinking about you. That's crazy. Um, Chili Mamba, the toe is gross too. Fake cinnamon. Yeah, boy, you know what? I did the toe of Satan challenge. I did it for like, it's fun. It's a funny challenge. You know, you do it for a minute, you're tough. If you do it for 2 minutes, whatever. And I kind of did it for 10. I don't know what I did it for. It was a long, long time ago, but it tasted horrible. Ugh. I hate fake cinnamon. I hate that awful cinnamon flavor. It does make you drool, Tommy. It's awful. Also, you know, earmuffs for the little ones. It gave me the worst one of the worst cases of fire hose I ever had. It was awful. Glenn Curtis, Woodstock brand ghost pepper sauce is very underestimated. Yeah, you know what? I like Woodstock sauces. When I found them, I was like, no way, because I used to live essentially in a town called Woodstock, or next to it. It's horrible. I agree. The bomb is definitely the bomb, Charles McCloud. It's just, you know, here's the deal. It's just, it is what it is. People have to be honest about it. And you know, no one's going to eat. Look, I've done extract, you know, so many times. No one's going to take a spoonful of plutonium and go, wow, flavor is just incredible. We know what it is, you know, the bomb, it's the same. It's in the same category. You know, we all know what it is. Let's stop pretending it's something it's not. Anyway, I don't want to rant. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that rants. Stephen O'Neill, good to see you. Thank you, Mr. Broom. I made a request for a flat rate box, 7 packs of seeds. You will not be disappointed. Dollar Silver, good to see you. Hi there, Johnny. Can't wait to get my 2 things from Fermented Carolina Reaper from Blazing Foods. Can't wait to eat. They're hot. They really are. You know what's great about that? That is just pure Fermented Carolina Reaper mash. There's nothing else in it. It's amazing. Loopswell, have I had anything grown by Ed Curry hotter than his Reapers? No, I have not. I had an offer to come out. It's a funny story. I had an offer to come out to their farm to eat Pepper X. Shook the hand of the CEO, in fact. I don't think it's going to happen, but it was a fun moment, I'll tell you that. And here's the crazy thing. You're going to see it. That thing that we're filming, you're going to see what I just talked about. I'm not going to say anything else. Jason P., good to see you. Johnny, I'm eating some chicken enchiladas right now. I put Scotch bonnets in it. Fire me up, but delicious. My man, with all those 100%. Listen, Scotch bonnets are so great. It's a great thing to do to add fresh peppers to things. And a Scotch bonnet, you can't go wrong. And chicken enchiladas, forget about it. Good call, Jason. Very good. Mr. Wolf, I strangled on the toe. Can't swallow that much spit. Dude, it's awful. Oh, it really is. It's terrible. Dizzy Dragon, honestly, the best challenge is eating a couple super hots you grow yourself with preparation. You know what you can take, and you do it yourself. Yeah, you know, I've never eaten pods I've grown myself, but I've eaten pods my friends have grown that they've sent me, and I've been in garden. I must have eaten 20 peppers before we got finished. It was amazing. Tom Broom. Man, I did the same walk. I've done the walk in Tom Broom's garden a bunch of times. And you're going to see that too. Wow. Hi, Tom. Just think about how hot the bomb is and how bad it tastes. Yet at 13.25 million tincture mixture, it tastes so good. Yeah, it's a fact. It does. It's a good point. What that does, Tom, is it certainly emphasizes that you can have great taste and heat. You don't need to sacrifice flavor whatsoever for heat. Raid and Shiny Hunts, I found your channel years ago. My grandparents were watching you at a reaper eating contest. Can't remember where though. Hey, your grandparents were watching me. That's cool. I was walking into a shopping place here about a quarter mile from where I live, and I was walking in, and this woman, she must have been like close to 80. She was an older woman. She was so sweet. She goes, I know you. I said, you do? She goes, I watch you on TV. I was like, you're kidding. She goes, my grandson makes me watch you. It's hilarious. Anyway. Now, while I've done the fresh peppers and pizzas. It's wonderful to do that. It's really great. I did that in the UK. It was incredible, actually. Bravado Ghost and Blueberry is very good, and that's very good brie on ice cream. It's one of the great ice cream sauces. JH, do you ever beat that sausage challenge? Can't remember the name of it. It was the what was that? Was it Valhalla? Was that what it's called? I don't remember. I think it was called Valhalla, but the Valhalla challenge? Yeah, for some reason I think it was the Valhalla challenge. I did it twice. The first time I did it, it's a pound of meat, you know? The first time I did it, I ate just one of them, and I was fine. But the second time I did it, it was really bad. I cooked it inside the house. Or the first time I cooked it in the house, and it almost killed me. The fumes were way worse than eating it. But the second time I did it outside, and I cooked it outside, and it was 2 pounds. I tried to eat 2 of them. That's the only video I've ever thrown up in. I don't know if a lot of you guys don't know that. People skip around. So people don't ever watch a video from start to finish. So a lot of people don't realize this, but I threw up in that video. I said, excuse me, I'll be right back. And I got right off camera. I tried to get far enough away so you couldn't hear it. But I got sick and then came back and tried to eat more. I tried to finish the rest of it, but it's just too much meat, man. It was just 2 pounds of meat. I can't do it. Yeah, it was Valhalla. I know I did it twice. Once, I know I did it twice because once it was just a single, and then I tried a double. And I think the first time I cooked it inside. I know I only did that once. That's a one trial learning sort of mistake. That was brutal. The fumes, I'm not kidding you. That was the fumes of that. You can't really breathe, and what you breathe in really burns, and it's just pungent, noxious fumes. I mean, it's really tough. KTB Saucy, shut up. A little legend in the house here. KTB Saucy, thanks for joining us. Adam Butcher, thanks for stopping in, man. Favorite go-to hot sauce, other than Chase Seed sauce, of course. You know what? Chase Seed is not my go-to hot sauce. That's the truth. Isn't that terrible? My go-to hot sauce. I'm trying to think. Give me a minute to think about it. Here's the problem. I don't have a go-to hot sauce. That's just the bitter truth of it. I have 200 or 300 bottles of sauce in the house, and I'm always thinking of different things. So I rarely have the same sauce. Oh, that's not true. If I get a sauce I really, really like, it'll be gone in 2 days. But usually I eat different sauces all the time. So I really don't have a go-to. I'm not trying to duck your question. That's the real answer. Charles McClellan, there's always someone who thinks they can eat anything. There sure is. I'm one of them. Dollar Silva, so sweet, asking how my chili mom bird is doing. Mike Stoltz, good to see you. Do you think you can handle the hell tart that Brian Ames failed at today? I saw that. Yeah. Do I think I can handle it? Can you, Mike? Imagine me saying, I don't know. I don't think I can handle it. Yeah, I can handle it. Good question, though. Of course I can handle it. I'll do it. For sure I can. And I will do it. It'll be fun. Bert Miranda, good to see you, man. Watch Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. Smoking Ed Curry. Great stuff. I've not seen that. Samir, good to see you, man. Just earned yourself a new sub, Chase. Man, thanks for hopping on the bus, Samir. You know what? It's a funny thing. You may not believe this, but just a little while ago, we've been saying, man, when do you think Samir's going to join us, man? My brother was saying, it's going to be any time now. And I was like, I don't know, man. Bree was standing up for you. They said he'll be along anytime. And lo and behold, here's Samir. It's awesome. Glad you're here, man. The bus is yours. I'm just your driver. December nights, guys. Good to see you. Staying late at work, off the clock, so I don't miss it by the time I get home. Man, it's a bummer. Everybody can hear the live stream. Yeah. Hello, everybody, with December night skies. How cool is that? You know what? I want to ask, I had a very interesting question I wanted to ask you guys. I meant to ask it in the last video. In tomorrow morning's video, if you can remember, because I forgot, try to remember to say something in the morning. I have a mind, like I said. I'll try to remember to say it. But what I want you to do is tell me in the comment section what ad you see in my video. Because I can, to a degree, if somebody's doing an ad, like when political season comes, I don't think I'm going to shut down all political ads on my channel. I think I'm going to, on both sides. I don't want to have political ads on my channel. So if you guys could let me know what you're seeing, that'd be great. Adam Butcher, favorite band, Know You Love Guitar. Did you hear that? That was great. Favorite band, man, I don't know. I love Queen a lot. I love The Dead a lot. I love AC/DC. There's a whole bunch. I love Billy Joel. There's a whole. See, I'm so eclectic with what I like and what I listen to. You guys probably wouldn't believe it. You know, I love Metallica. I love Slayer. I mean, I like. There's a lot. My taste. I like classical. The only thing I don't like, and if I offend somebody, sorry, it happens. I can't stand country western at all. Kang Star Lemon Starbursts are awesome peppers. Man, they really are. What was that one? I saw something just caught my attention. To Absolute T, Johnny will get a chili mongbird, a chili shaped diamond ring. Be cool. Already got it. Shaped like a little white brain. No lie. The B-sides. It was a great skate shop in Burlington, Vermont. It was called the B-side. Long time ago. Tom Broom, Cindy wants to hear me play. Play what? Play my guitar. Nah, I don't think I'm going to do that live. See, it's different live. I'll play on the channel. You got to understand, guys, I'm not that good at guitar. So when I play on the channel, it might take 2 or 3 takes on a song that I really know well, you know? That's not true. On the song I really know well, I can usually knock out in 1 take. But if it's something, I'm always trying to learn something new. So sometimes it takes a long time. But Fleetwood Mac and Def Leppard are 2 of my absolutes. Yeah, they're great. They are amazing, both of them. I'm sorry, Cindy, about not playing, but I don't want to embarrass myself, man. Raids and Shiny Hunt. My mom had killer taste in music. You know what? Our parents did too. With my dad had great. My mom and dad both had. I remember. Listen to this. No joke. When I was a kid, this may even be before Tommy. No, Tommy was probably around 2 when this happened. There was a room in our house, and I remember we were going through, and we were just like exploring the house. This room we hadn't been in. It ended up becoming a playroom. They turned it into a playroom for us, like big bean bags, and you know that was our place to hang out. But my sister and I went in there. Sister Scove and I went in there once, and I found a bunch of albums, tons of albums, and I mean the Doobie Brothers, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. I mean some of the coolest albums in that. I mean it was very, very cool. So they had great taste as well. For sure. If I started a band, Absolute T, you know what I'd call it? Accidental Cross. That would be my chili head band. Conway Twitty. Not a real Conway Twitty fan. Ready and Shiny Hunts. You know who's amazing? Glenn Campbell was an amazing guitarist. And, you know, like nobody gives that guy enough credit. And you want to know a guy who was an absolute monster on guitar? Now, I challenge anybody, when we're done, unless you want to do it now, I don't mind. When you're done, we're here on YouTube anyway, I want you to type in Roy Clark, tearing it up on guitar or something like that. Roy Clark was an absolute monster, and he was a monster. He would do this and smile at the camera and never make any stupid, goofy faces. And I mean, his hands were just lightning fast. His pick hand was, you guys got to see how amazing Roy Clark was. Christopher Cross was an amazing guitarist too. You're right, Tommy. A lot of people don't know that about Christopher Cross. I mean, he was almost like, I remember watching him just do blistering scales before people were really doing that. Isn't Accidental Cross a great name, Burt Miranda? I thought it'd be great. Glenn Curtis' first live show was The Dead in '93. Holy moly, that's a good first show. My first show ever was Sharon Chandler. Get it, my girl. Good to see you here. Thank you for hanging out. Sharon, listen, Sharon is so wonderful. She's so faithful, watches every video and comments so much. Thank you for being here. You're a trooper. My first concert was I'm not going to say what year it is. Oh, why not? It was probably, I think it was 1980. It was The Clash. It's crazy. Stephen O'Neill, man, thank you so much for your donation. Listen, if you're going to do a donation, at least fire a question in there so you can ensure I answer a question you got. But thank you so much for doing that, man. I appreciate it. Adam Butcher, how do you prep for a challenge? Huh? Let me see here. Hold on. How do you prep for a challenge? Ed mentioned drinking lime juice before. Lots. Do you? Calf cramps, the worst. No, I don't really have like a specific regimen. As long as there's something in my gut, I'm usually pretty good. So I've never done the lemon juice or anything. Joe Bonamassa is amazing, Chili Mama Bird. You want to hear something great about Joe Bonamassa? You know, I don't know if you guys know who Joe Bonamassa is, but he is another monster. He was a prodigy. He was playing he was playing guitar with B.B. King when he was 12 years old. There are videos on YouTube of him playing with B.B. King when he was 12. And I mean, soulful, amazing stuff. B.B. King looked at him and was like, who is this kid? He's just a monster. I go home one day and help my mom take care of my dad. This is when I was living there. My dad goes, Johnny, come here a minute. Like what? He goes, you ever heard of a guy named Joe Bonamassa? I said, never heard of him. Who's he play for? Which is a standard joke in my family. Anytime somebody asks you a name and you don't know who they are, the standard line is, I don't know, who's he play for? So I dropped that on him. He goes, no, he's a guitarist. I think you'd like him. You got to check this out. So we sit down and he puts it on the TV. He goes to YouTube and types in Joe Bonamassa. He was playing in Royal Albert Hall in England. And I'm telling you, it changed me. I watched we sat there and watched the whole concert. My dad and I were like, my jaw was down to here. And, excuse me, this wasn't when we were taking care of him. This was way before that because he turned me on to Joe Bonamassa. I was visiting. This is like a long time ago because I ended up seeing Joe Bonamassa live in San Antonio, and he was a trip. He came out. He had a band behind him, but he sat down on a stool. He had like 12 guitars behind him. He played a different guitar for every single song. He's a guitar nerd. He's got like a gazillion-dollar guitar collection. Jackson Brown in 77. Charles McClellan, you made me feel better about the Clash in 79. I said 80. It may have been 78 or 79, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if they were there in 80. Sharon Chandler, look up the guy. He's no star, but I know you'll love him. His YouTube is Marlin 8000. I will do that. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that. KTB metal body resonator is one of the best sounds in the world. You know what my two favorite sounds are? Little kids laughing, that uncontrollable laugh that little kids get. That's one of them, and you're probably thinking, oh, how sweet. And the other one is breaking glass. I don't know why, but for some reason I love the sound. You know what? I probably got it from my dad, Papa Scoville. He loved breaking glass. He had telling the truth, he had a coffee mug, little holder that you'd put his mug on, and every time you put it down, it would sound like glass breaking. So you drink it, put it down. So he loved that sound too. Stevie Ray Vaughan, still my favorite, Mark Cooper says. He was a monster, you know. There's a great video, Stevie Ray Vaughan. You may have seen it. There's another video you guys have to go see. Just type in Stevie Ray Vaughan, the smoothest guitar change ever. All right? Willard P. and the Cap Cramps. Type in, thank you, Tommy. Don't do that again, bro. But type in, that's hysterical. I'm not going to be able to talk now. Type in Stevie Ray Vaughan. He breaks a string. He's playing, I don't know, I can't remember what song he's playing, but he breaks a string. And while he's playing, his guitar tech comes out behind him. He takes the guitar off, pulls the other one on. Or no, takes a strap off. He pulls another one on. Never misses a beat. It's the most insane, smoothest guitar transfer you ever saw in your life. If you only heard the song and you didn't see it, you would never know anything happened. Papa Scoville loved the Little River Band. Willard P. and the Cap Cramps. I'll tell you what. Tommy with an oldie. Adam Butcher, to be honest, thank you for being sober. Here we are. Well, I'll tell you what, I love being sober, Adam. I'm not just saying that. You guys, can I tell you something? I was on the lifeboat tonight. It's very, very cool. I love the lifeboat. I watch it every day. And you know, Tommy said something amazing, man. You look at if you talk to any, like if you interview some of the people, the highest part of the game, like Eric Clapton, you know what I mean, or just some of the greats, and or you know Elton John, and say what's your greatest accomplishment? They've won every award on the planet. They've been knighted by the Queen, and the thing that they're most proud of, they'd say, is their sobriety, because without that, there's nothing else. You know, with my sobriety, I can sit here in front of you and do the things I'm supposed to do. With you know, if I'm using or living in the life, go away in a hurry. Most thing I'm most proud about is my sobriety, man. I really am. So if you're someone who's struggling, please go check out my brother's channel, The Lifeboat. It's a channel. The vibe is very similar that you have here. Everybody loves everybody. Everybody's supportive of everybody. But it's a channel about living a victory over addiction and living a sober life and doing it happy. It's amazing. You can do it. Prince was a monster. Boy, there's a great video where there was a guitar tribute. He was playing While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and they let him take the solo. And it was the first time, you know, he played, 50 different instruments, but he was a prodigy almost on guitar. He was amazing. You should have Tommy join you for more Chase E videos, December Nights Guy says. You know, Tommy's going to do, yes, thank you for saying that. Tommy's a trooper. He is. He's game. He's going to, we're going to do a surstroming Vegemite taco challenge. And he's also going to drink a bottle of plutonium. He is. He's going to do a bottle of plutonium. Don't know when, but he's going to do it. Luteswell, Jeff Healy. Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what. Huh? For real. I have not heard any of his jazz. That would be cool. I need to look into that. Stephen O'Neill, thank you so much. Jam on any song you like playing. Oh, no. I almost have to since you gave a donation. Oh. This sucks. This is what I'm working on. I learned this an hour ago. All right? So if there's a mistake, everybody needs to cut me a big slack. My heart is thumping right now. You have no idea. Hold on. Okay. Anyway, I told you I just learned that. Literally, honestly, when I tell you I learned that, I'll tell you when I learned it. I started tinkering on it when Tommy was doing his channel, his lifeboat. So forgive me for the mistakes, but anyway. No more requests for guitar. That's it. Anyhow. The 80s were great. I had so much fun in the 80s. You have no idea. It was a good time. It really was. It didn't sound good. You're too nice, Adam. It didn't sound good. But Nemesis, where you messed up after you chugged the plutonium hot sauce. That was nuts. Respect for that. I did that. Not once, not twice, but thrice. The first one hurt an awful lot. It really did. The second one hurt more. The second one was probably the worst. The third one, my throat really hurt because I gargled it. So that was pretty bad. But yeah, those are painful. It's a horrible, horrible thing, Now everybody's talking guitar. Somebody's got to ask a question because I'm not playing any more guitar, man. I'm not. Here's the problem. You know what I've been doing lately? This is the truth. I'm not just making an excuse. I've been working a lot on stuff that I've been writing. All right? And that's the truth. And with me, I'm not like proficient on the guitar. So the deal with me is this. I can learn a song, but if I stop playing that song in a month, I forgot how to play that song. Like I played 80 songs on the channel. I'll go back. I'm like, I forgot I even knew how to play that. So I've been playing songs lately that I've been writing myself. So music and peppers and happiness. You need a guitar shaped like a pepper. I do. Chest Rockwell. Love the name. The latest episode of The Boat about the. Yeah, boy, wasn't that amazing? Do you mean the one yesterday? Tonight was great, but the one yesterday was amazing too. What's my thought on dry pods? Chad Matthews. Can I tell you how stunning you look with that bust to your right? Thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. I don't. You know, it's interesting. It really depends on. I don't like dried peppers, but I don't mind dehydrated. There's a difference. Dried peppers, you bite in your mouth, it's like you're chewing up a razor blade. You get a dehydrated pepper, it's just kind of dehydrated. It's not dried like you're swallowing a razor blade. You know what I mean? It's like you're almost like fruit leather. You know what I mean? So peppers that are dehydrated don't bother me so much as the ones that are dried. Like I have a couple on the counter over there that are dry that I'm going to eat tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Tough to eat though, man. They're tough on your throat. It's brutal. Yeah, let me tell you, the last 2 nights, Tommy always nails. He's a great speaker, but the last 2 nights on the lifeboat have just been heavy duty. Crazy Cat, you sound great. Don't fear a live audience. The more you do it, the easier it gets. You know what? The first time I played in front of a live audience, I was 22 years old. I had neighbors that played in a band in Vermont, and the band was called Little Wing. And the lead guitarist was a guy named Charlie. And I was partying my skull off back then. So he used to always come over to my apartment and hang out, and we'd party, and he'd go back, and I'd tinker on guitar, and he'd come over and tinker on guitar. I learned a few things from him, and one day he comes over, he goes, we're playing at the, it was Club Houston, was the name of the club actually, in Vermont. Isn't that funny? But they said, we're playing this weekend. You want to come down and play a set with us? And I was just like, I immediately said yes, not thinking about it. I said, yeah, definitely. And I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have even done it. He gave me we had like 4 or 5 songs that I knew how to play that weren't that difficult. But I got there, I made the mistake of telling every friend I had about it. And it was a place that could, maximum, there might have been 500 people in the place. And that was packed. And it was a great local band, you know, and I made the mistake of wearing shorts. I had a BC Rich at the time, but I was wearing shorts. I came out, they played the first set, I was in back tuning up, and then I was so nervous, I didn't want to do it. I'd never played in front of anybody before. It was too late. I already said yes, you know. I worked at a pizza joint. Everybody that worked there, all the waitresses, all the guys that cooked, everybody was there. And I came out and we started playing, and I looked, and my knees were shaking. I could see my knees shaking because I had shorts on. It stopped shaking after about, 2 or 3, a couple minutes. They went away. And then I had a lot of fun, and it was great. And but that first couple of minutes, man, my friend Tim, who worked with me at the pizza joint, he told me he could see my knees shake. We were supposed to play Jumping Jack Flash, the first song. It was the first song we were supposed to play. The lead singer comes over, the singer comes up and he goes, we're not going to play Jumping Jack Flash. I don't know how to play. I'm not very good. I'm like, what do you mean we're not playing Jumping Jack Flash? That's what we're supposed to play. He goes, can you play Twist and Shout? And it's a pretty easy. I said, yeah, I can play Twist and Shout. I said, but they're thinking it's going to be Jumping Jack Flash. He goes, they're musicians. They'll figure it out. So he went over and told the drummer, and that was it. Just me and the drummer. Everybody else kind of figured it out. But that was the first song. So not only am I out there like nervous, but they're dumping a new song on me. I'm not even doing what we're supposed to be doing at the last second. It's terrible. Glenn Curtis, just want to say something before I go. Johnny, your words are trusted more on this topic than just about any out there. Much love and great respect. Wow, that's a thank. I know you're talking about peppers, not music, but thank you, Glenn. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Noah James, 98. Good to see you. How do your intestines feel? Be honest. You have stomach cramps after you had that. Have you had stomach cramps that live up to the fetal position? Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not. Some people go to the fetal position. I don't. What I'll do is I'll get into an egg on my stomach, like on my knees, and like with my head on the floor. So it's kind of fetal, but upright, not on the. If I lay on my side, it hurts more. So I'll be in the fetal position, just on my knees, like in a ball. Sure, I've been there a ton of times, but you can't get to where I'm at, and not making an omelet. We're gonna break some eggs. You know what I mean? It's just part of the gig. It just happens. It's like if you in the MMA, you're gonna get hit in the face. If you're a chili head, you're gonna get calf cramps. It's just part of the gig, But the good news is, the higher your tolerance gets, the less that bothers you. In the very, very beginning of the season, I'll have calf cramps. And look, I don't know if you saw it just recently. No, did you see the? I don't know when it was. It was a fudge challenge from Uncle Bull Cow, from like a month ago. That one those are as bad as the worst calf cramps I've ever had in my life. Like praying, like thank God I live alone. Like that, and they were bad enough that I'm in the house, in my apartment, thinking where my neighbors are and which room is going to be most likely to be not have anybody hear me die, because I'm moaning like a shot animal, Yeah, I've had them, bad. It happens. Amy Hakey, love from the chat from Vermont. Swanson, right? Not Swanson. Can't remember. I think you told me. Thank you for joining us again. I don't grow them at all, but I will. Adam, when I get to Australia, we'll be growing a lot. Andrew Valentine, first time in the live stream, catching a live. You got to be kidding me. It's hysterical. The irony in this. Who wants to tell him what happened? Man, just recently, what was it? It was Bert Miranda, I think, that was saying, man, when do you think Andrew Valentine's going to show up here? We're like, I don't know. Tommy was like, I heard he's going to drop by any time now. Even Bree was talking about it. Charles McClellan was talking about it, and here you are. Even Samir was talking about it. So I'm stoked you're here. Thank you for stopping by. Come by more often. We do this a lot at 9 o'clock. So. Chest Rockwell, knocking knees on your first live gig is the worst. Been there, done that. Yeah. The funny thing is, when I was in college, I played like a little grunge. We played in a couple dorms, you know what I mean? And probably because I was loaded, but I never really got nervous there. We need more cowbell, Charles McClellan. Papa Scobo's laughing his head off. How do you know when it's time to call the paramedics? Noah James, what a great question. Boy, the closest I came was the second time I drank the whole bottle of plutonium. I had 911 dialed into my phone. And then I thought, well, pointless to call 911, you're just going to go to the hospital. But then what happens is this. I've told the story before, but what happens is you kind of play it through in your head. Like, what's going to happen? I'm going to get there. I'm going to park the car and somehow you can't walk. You don't understand when it's really bad. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't, walking. Walking, driving the car would have been impossible. I was dying. I was dying. If I got there, I'm going to sit in the waiting room. Like, they'll probably take me quick because I look like I've eaten poison or something. So they'd probably get me back quickly. Not only that, I'd be scaring everybody in the waiting room a lot. So they'd probably take me back quickly. But then they'd say, well, what happened to you quickly? What'd you do? And I'd say, I drank a bottle of plutonium. To which they'd go, I'd say, no, not that plutonium. It's pepper extract. It's like 9 million Scoville heats. And they went, you drank it. You drank it. I'd say, yeah, on purpose. I'd say, yeah. And that's what would happen. And they'd say, they'd give me some milk and charge me $500. Nah, capsaicin could be fatal if you have an allergy to capsaicin. If you don't have an allergy to capsaicin, the only thing that can kill you with pepper is if it got lodged in your air hole and you couldn't breathe. Other than that, you're good to go. So no, it can't be fatal. No, and that's not true. If you took pure capsaicin, if this was 9 million Scoville capsaicin, and I somehow got all of this in my body, I might die from it. But trust me, you couldn't do that. You would tap before you ever had the opportunity to get all of that in your system. So it's not something you need to worry about. So fear not, everybody. Pepto-Bismol. Italicizer. I love the name. Ted Hammond, good to see you. Have you ever had 2 endorphin rushes in one session? Great question. Nope. Nope. I've had them battle, play back and forth, but not 2 legit endorphin dumps in one. Well, you get 1 and then that's it. It's kind of, imagine you have, your cylinders are full with endorphins. They fire them off and you got to rebuild them for a while. It's only happened once. I've had several in a day before. No is not a troll. But thank you so much for the $2, Ted. Seriously. No is not a troll, he says. If that's who you're referring to. I've been a subscriber since 2016. This is the first live I've made it to. I think somebody maybe have said that. And I think that what probably said that is it can be versus can it be or could it be? It's a pretty bold statement. So that's why they probably said that. There's many questions I have for Johnny. Fire them away, Noah. You haven't been here before, and you've been here since the beginning. But listen, we have a pretty intelligent crowd here. When you come here and you say cap cramps can kill you and is lethal, you're going to have a lot of people say no. So you just got to remember it's a pretty intelligent crowd here. But thank you for joining us. I'm glad you're here. But you have a bunch of questions. I'm going to wrap it up in about 12 minutes. And since this is your first, fire away. I will certainly answer any questions you got. I'm not a fan of animal testing, Dizzy Dragon. Animal testing is kind of messed up. Yeah, animal testing is. Especially today, because we can duplicate anything with things we can create. Like when they first created the seatbelt, they used pigs because the chest cavity of a pig is the closest to a human being of all the animals in the animal kingdom. So because of that, they would strap pigs in cars and put a seatbelt on to see how their chest cavities do in testing seatbelts. While that was a tragic thing and it's a drag, they didn't have the ability then to create test dummies that could measure the amount of force that was going on with fake ribs that could potentially break. Today, there's no need for any testing with animals today, clearly. And even back then, it was a sketchy thing to do, but I agree with you. All right, so we got a question from Noah. Don't sweat it, Noah, with the apology. You don't need to worry about it. We're a very intelligent crowd, but we're a forgiving crowd. These are family here. All right, so first video ever caught was when you drank the whole vial of Flashbang. I was watching with my dad, and he said, check this guy out. That was a fun challenge. I did that challenge because I saw somebody else do it. And when I saw the other person online do it, I won't say their name because I don't like the person. But when I saw the other person do it, they did a teaspoon of it. So I thought, if he did a teaspoon, I'm going to drink the whole bottle. So that was a fun one. That actually tasted pretty good for what it was. I think it was it was only like 3.5 million though. But that was way back. Did you watch it? You watched that when it happened? That was a long time ago, man. Ted Hammond, thank you so much. With the advance of peppers with Scoville heat units, when will we surpass the Primatale or the Pepper X? Wow, that's a great question. Really, we should only be talking about the Primatale because Pepper X, although we've had it in products, no one's eaten a pod. And, when that pod is released, we can certainly talk about it. Let's talk about the Primatale. When is it going to be beaten? I don't know, man. Here's the weird thing. You know what I think happens? And I think have you guys ever heard of you've heard of barn finds? Where somebody will buy an old house, and there's this old barn beside it, and they open a barn, and there's a 1967 Ferrari in there that's worth a fortune, or something ridiculous. It happens all the time with like no mileage on it. Barn finds, it happens all the time. I think they're like garden finds, but they don't ever get found. Here's what I think happens, um, Ted. We're going to get there. We will get something hotter than the Primatali. I know we will. But I think every season it happens and we don't eat it. I go to shows all the time and people will come up and say, "Oh, this is the hottest. I grow those." Like, like the hottest pepper, Reapers, whatever. I'm like, "Do you eat them?" I ask them all the time. "Oh, no, I give them to friends." Do you know what percentage of growers actually eat their products? So many don't. They really don't. And if they do, they'll eat a sliver of it, but very, very few growers. Tom Broom does. I know for a fact. But most growers don't. So, like, a good example, I was at a show 2 months ago, and a guy shows me a pepper. He was so excited about it. He's a super nice guy. He shows me his pepper. It's his pride joy. He's been working on it for years and years. He's got his whole company's based on this pepper. And there's a camera in my face right here, and I bite it, and like he's like, is it a contender? I got a camera right here looking at me. I'm like, it's not. I'm sorry. I don't want to bum the guy out, but I'm not going to lie to him. I'm like, it's not. It's not that hot a pepper. I don't know what to tell you. It just isn't. And he was so bummed out. I'm like, thanks for coming out. And he goes, well, I got one more. I don't know if you want to eat it. I said, what is it? He goes, well, it was an accidental cross. I went, pardon me? He goes, it was in my backyard. It's a Primatali next to something else, but I don't know what the cross is. I said, you didn't think maybe to lead with that one? I said, yeah, let me have it. And I bit this pepper, and I mean instantaneously, it was stupid hot, like as hot as any Primatali I've had. He doesn't even know what the cross is. My point is, if I didn't eat that day, he wasn't gonna. He brought that there for me to eat. I'm telling you, 70% of the peppers that are grown rot and are never eaten anyway. It's pathetic. It's very, very sad. But I think I think gardens in every state in the United States, all year round, the hottest pepper, something happens. A thing from this plant goes and does something fun over on this plant, and something crazy comes out, and nobody knows. And it could be 3 million. It could be 3.25. Who knows? But I just know. I've had the chocolate bula is an accidental cross. There are so many accidental crosses that happen. So I think we'll get there, Ted. I think it's going to be. I think there's a couple pods that factor in very heavy. Fatali. The first time I ever ate a Fatali, go back and watch the video. It was like 4 years ago. I said this has a scary future. This is going to factor in big time in the future. I said that the first time I ever ate a Fatali. I swear, the video's there. It's the years. 2 years after that, eat a Primatali. You know what a Primatali is? It's a seven-pot Primo crossed with a yellow Fatali. So I think the Fatali, in some way, there's something with a Fatali that's very, very special. So the Fatali can be paired with something else that may surpass the Primatali. So I think that's a potential. I hope I answered your question, man. But Ted, to answer your question in a really, really quick way, it's going to happen. I don't know when. What's the best way to build a tolerance, Noah? Tubes of terror are great. Just more and hotter and more of it. So if you can't get hotter, just more of what you're used to. But if you can get hotter, just push the envelope. Ron Smith, good to see you. Do you think peppers grown over a period of time will adjust to your region or type? Boy, that's a wonderful question. I wish I had the chops to answer. It's above my pay grade there, man. I've never grown. I know a guy named Ron who grows in Virginia. He grows a pepper that's called the Moruga 420. He calls it the 420 because he was working at a concert, and somebody walked up to him and said, let's go out back. I got something I want to give you. And he thought he was going out back to, which is why I call it the 420. The guy gave him seeds instead. He goes, what is this? These are pepper seeds. I want to give to you. True story. So he gives him these pepper seeds. And he grew them one season. These seeds came from Trinidad, all right? Not like the pepper originated from. No, these seeds came from a pepper that was grown in Trinidad. So that's where it was grown. So he grew them one year, let somebody eat one, and it almost killed them. So he didn't grow it for he says, almost a decade. Just let the seeds sit there. Decided to grow again. But where he lives in Virginia, it almost duplicates the weather patterns of where this pepper originally came from. It's got almost like an island type weather. Every single day it rains for at least a half hour. It's got it's got just the perfect climate, and because of that, those are some of the hottest Morugas I've had. I don't know if it's because that climate sort of matches the climate where they originally came from, and I don't know if that sort of answers your question, but I would think that plants would adapt, but I'm not quite sure. What are some? Hi Ted, thank you so much, man. Who are some of my musical influences? Man, yeah, I love the Beatles. As far as guitar, like so the people who influenced me in guitar, I mean David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, I shouldn't even start because there's so many. I think Jerry Garcia is amazing. There's a ton of great guitarists that really motivated me. I think a lot of young. Look, we're in a scary age where there's a 7-year-old kid on every continent that can outplay anybody that you hear on albums. It's a scary time that we live in. Kids are just doing things that are just. I saw a little girl in Japan. The guitar was on her lap. It didn't look like. I mean, it's huge on her. Her fingers are teeny, and she's flying up and down the fingerboard. And I mean, she's 7. So we're in an age now where I get inspired by everybody, man. I really do. Thank you for asking. The Beatles were my the first song I ever remember hearing was a Beatles tune. My parents had good taste. Buddha, ouch. Can you imagine how many potential award-winning Scoville and peppers that have rotted or just given away without a clue? I'm serious. I guarantee you it happens all the time. I promise you, if that guy hadn't given me that pepper, he was not gonna eat that. He wasn't. I had an accidental. I've had accidental crosses in many gardens that I know for a fact were never going to be consumed if I didn't eat them. And how many gardens are there? So I have to think it happens tons of times. Stephen O'Neill, I started growing last year. So difficult here in Swan, Vermont. Short season. Have to start them indoors. Yeah, you got to start them now. And that season is what, 2 weeks long? It is short. Vermont is brutal, man. But you know what's beautiful about Vermont? The change of the seasons are so dramatic. You know what I mean? It's not like you need to even think about it. It's like, hey man, spring is here. It's like it's the most exciting thing. And then, I mean, it's just dramatic. I loved Vermont when I was there, when I lived there. I want to see if I can find somebody I haven't said hi to. Dad, look at that. Dude, haven't seen you today. Nice to see you. Do you eat peppers every single day? Also, when you eat food, does it have to be very spicy? I eat pepper. I don't eat peppers every day. I have them. I eat them. Pepper. It's a seasonal sort of thing. Right now, I ate 2 at the beginning of this video because I have them. I'm going to eat some more tomorrow because I have them. But if I have them, I'm going to eat them. But they're not here all the time. But I'm not such a pepperhead where if I don't have them, I'm going to run to the store and buy a jalapeno. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've done that. But I don't do that every single time. But every meal I have is heated one way or another. It's just true. To me, a meal that's not spicy is just fuel for your tank. And I don't really just feel like putting fuel in my tank. Joel Lawson, but thank you for the question, Duke. Joel Lawson, good to see you, man. What's going on? Almost missed the live. Boy, you almost did. Oh, and it's 10 o'clock. I started at 9. I was only going to go an hour. We'll go 5 more minutes just because you just got here. I don't want to stop at the minute you got here. That seems rude of me. So we'll go another 5 minutes. Is everybody okay with that? We still have 61 people here, so. Do we, let's see. Ted, my man. How do you feel terror affects peppers? How do I feel terror affects peppers as it does wine grapes? I feel like a monkey doing a math problem. I'm not quite sure what you mean, man. Don't send more money. Just type it into the thread, and I'll try to figure out what you mean. I apologize. I'm not quite sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm sorry. If we'll figure it out. Just type it into the comment. We'll get to the bottom of this. I promise you. Yeah, the lifeboat's amazing. Super important. Heckling the heat. Johnny, have you tried Manzano? I have. Strange pepper, black seeds. It's the only time I have seeds I don't mind eating. Yeah, it's interesting pepper, Manzano. SD Guy 3030, let's go. Getting ready to grow some Reapers and white Bulas this summer. Oh, Bologna. Jolokia, I think you mean. Not a big grow, but it'd be awesome if it worked out. Listen, you bet it would be awesome if it worked out. There we go. The complete natural environment in which particular wine is produced. See, that's just a wine term. I am a monkey doing a math problem. Okay, so let's go back to your initial question. How do you feel the complete natural environment in which the wine is produced, including is it similar to peppers? Um, Absolutely, I do. I think I do. I think how you grow it is definitely going to change. What medium you grow it in, and where you grow it, and how you treat it, and the nutrients you give, all has a tremendous impact on that. I think most growers, really, I think most growers just put a seed in the ground, water it, and hope something good happens. You know, I know a lot of the growers I know professionally, like the professional growers I've been to, every one of them seem to have some sort of thing that they do that they say nobody else does, that they think makes them better. And I don't really know because I'm not a grower. And I keep secrets. I'm not going to tell anybody. But I think all those factor in heavily, Ted. Chest Rockwell, I see you wearing a black metal T-shirt now and then. So you a fan? No, I don't. Black metal is satanic, and I'm a Christian, so I don't like. There's one black metal song that's got the most amazing guitar riff that I dig a lot, but I can't separate what they're saying from the music. The shirt that you're seeing is a shirt from a company called Grimfrost. It's a Viking shirt, and it has the black metal sort of look to it. I got that shirt from my chili mama bird. But no, I like metal. Slayer is really almost walking the line of what I can do and what I can't. But I still dig Slayer. But so that's just being honest with you. Yeah, I learn something new every day. Zippo Click. I'll probably pronounce it wrong, but I definitely know what that word means now. Breeding birds got chili mama bird into peppers. Isn't that cool that birds are unaffected by heat? The reason is so they can eat a pepper, they can eat the fruit and fly somewhere else, poop it out, and have that plant propagate somewhere else to continue the plant. It's pretty awesome. Bert Miranda, Chase Eaton Lifeboat, the most important channels on YouTube. Man, that's an awfully kind thing to say. You know what? Tommy's channel is the most important channel on YouTube. I believe that. We're just eating peppers and talking music and silliness here. But that channel is doing important stuff. I agree with that. Ted Hammond, thank you for the lovely discussion. I'm not on the train, but I just try to be. No, I got to tell you something. You're on the bus for sure. You are here. You're a part of it. I want to make something really clear. I love you, dude. You don't need to eat peppers to be on the bus. You know, you don't have to. You don't. There are so many people that watch this channel every day that don't ever eat anything hot. You know who they are? They're positive people, like a positive message, and or people that just like watching somebody who's passionate about what they do. So you're on the bus. Don't you worry about that. And you don't need to be more knowledgeable. Keep coming back. We'll be back tomorrow night for another one. But I appreciate you all the donations and for helping out. Thank you. Yeah, Grimfrost is awesome. Do I like Five-Finger Death Punch? Nah. You know, I probably had a very small period of time where I was listening to them, but not really. I have a couple friends who are just diehard for real. Yeah, everyone see where Everyone see where Motley Crue's touring with Def Leppard. Imagine that. The only problem with that, Def Leppard, I would love to see the Crew right now. Crew in their heyday is one thing, but today, have you seen them? Have you seen a modern? Have you seen them lately? It's so painful to watch. Oh, it's hard to watch. It's like some people don't know when to either step back and regroup. You know, but it makes me think of Elvis at the end where he came out looking like 300 pounds in a suit that had paint on him. Remember that? He lost his self-respect. It's the same sort of a thing. I think it's funny that humans eat peppers when peppers do the best to hurt us beyond tolerance. We are especially curious. You know what? We are. Dupe, do you know that there's a creature called the tree shrew? Have you heard of the tree shrew? Let me tell you something. The tree shrew is the only animal that seeks out capsaicin because it likes burning. That's an animal, huh? That really is cool, I think. Um, I don't know Bert. I don't know Yvonne Moody's sobriety story. You know, the funny thing is, everybody's sobriety story is amazing. Every single sobriety story is a miracle. Do you realize that? There's not one that isn't. There's not one that isn't a miracle. So I'd love to hear it. Charles McClellan, Jimi Hendrix said that Terry Kath from Chicago was better than he was when they opened for him. I believe that. He also said that Billy Gibbons was the best guitarist on the planet. A couple times he said it, actually. Billy Gibbons is an amazing guitarist. He really is, boy. I do like Tool, for sure. I know no one wants a photograph of Joe Elliott. You know, here's the thing, man. How about the dude from, have you seen Sebastian Bach lately? Here's the thing. I feel bad. All those guys, you understand something? Here's your guy. You almost got to feel bad for those dudes. All those guys were hitting their prime. When they got the most popular, they were physically in their prime. They were young. They were specimens. You know what I mean? Now you fast forward 30 years, they all can still play, but they look like they're, playing hooky from the morgue. You look at the crypt keeper. Half the look are terrifying looking, and that's a scary thing. I started this channel when I was 50. I look the same. It's no big deal. I can do this till I'm 90. They might say, oh, he's aged a little bit, but they're never going to say, oh, look what happened to Johnny, like Sebastian Bach or something. You know what I mean? The tree shoe is Johnny's spirit animal. I love it. Yeah, Axl Rose, man. Axl Rose. There was a time, you guys know, anybody that's older, in the 80s, Axl Rose was the man. Are you kidding me? And look at him now. It's like, holy mackerel. For real. The 80s were great, though, man. Listen, it all comes at a cost, Chest Rockwell. If you want to dance, you got to pay the band. I wish I could go back and undo all the things that I did, all the partying and all the, drinking and drugs and all the stuff I did. I wish I could go back and undo it all, but I can't. But what I can do is make sure that my kids don't. Educate them, make sure and I did. My kids don't, but just try to help others. So it's costly, but I'm getting there. I kind of feel there's a great, what's this song by Joe Walsh? It's all about sobriety. I can't remember the name of the tune. Somebody's going to know it in the thread. But the video is insane. The video is nothing but rocker after rocker after rocker and how long they've been sober. Most of them are very, very cool. Some of them are not, because you go, wait a minute. This video was 15 years ago, and this guy was in rehab 2 years ago. And people can fall off and stuff. But it's still the most amazing video ever, because you see so many people. Like Eric Clapton's been sober forever. Elton John's been sober forever. There's so many. And the way I kind of view it is this. Like Bob Dylan. I mean, there's really... In fact, any old rocker that's still alive is sober, because there's no old rockers. They all die. But the way I kind of look at it is I've graduated. I don't need to do it anymore. I've done it all. There's the thrill I get now. My drug of choice now is helping other people. I get a charge out of that. That's the truth. What if sometimes the band sucks? Dude, Ted Hammond, that's a great question. Sometimes they do. That's the fact of it. That's, I've been at dead shows with Tommy before where they didn't sound so good. But you know what happened at those shows? Tommy will chime in. The audience knew they were having an off day. You'd hear things like, it's okay, don't worry, play an easy one. The audience knew, and nobody gave them a hard time because they understood. So people have an off day. If you sit in front of a mic and you sing enough, you're going to have an off day. If you sit in front of a camera enough, you're going to have an off day. It's part of the gig, But, see, true that. Ozzy is great. Ozzy, retired, man. I never saw Ozzy. Oh, I never saw him. I saw Alice Cooper twice. You want to hear a great Ozzy Cooper? 2 great Ozzy Cooper stories. I saw him twice. Both times we won tickets on the radio, 20 years apart. First time in Vermont, second time I saw him with Tommy in Reno. And it was the most absurd question. Tommy answered the most bizarre, off-the-wall question, and it was an absolute guess. They didn't give him a choice, like pick A, B, or C. They just asked him the most bizarre question you've ever heard in your life, and he knew the answer. I'm like, how'd you know? He goes, I guessed. Do you remember that, Tommy? I should tell him. Should I tell him? Yeah, they asked him, how many pounds of skin does a human being slough in the course of a lifetime? Without blinking, Tommy goes, 40 pounds. He's on the phone, 40 pounds. He goes, you're right. I looked at him like I almost had a heart attack. I said, how did you know that? He goes, I guessed. We're going to see Alice Cooper. It was crazy. It's a true story, though. I swear, I almost had a stroke. Because he didn't go, okay, let me think. Like logically, let's see how this works. A callus, how small is a callus? You lived for 80 years. He just said 40 pounds. It's crazy. You know what's great about Alice Cooper, Zippo? He's a great front man. He really is an amazing front man, and he always has a great band. His band is tight. He always has great guitarists. Just a great show and great music. And it's just, it's theatrical as can be. He's a legend, man. That guy he's sober, and he's a Christian. Very, very cool. All right, guys. I stayed a little bit longer because some people chimed in that had never ever caught a live show. So I said we go till 5 after. We actually went till 13 after, so I feel a little better. But we're going to wrap it up now. I love you guys a lot. We'll do another one tomorrow night. We won't. I said this tonight. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll go another hour. We'll see. But you guys are awesome. I love you guys a lot. Tell someone you love them. Be kind. Be the light in somebody's day tomorrow, right? And when you go to bed tonight, know that tomorrow is going to be exciting. You'll see all the normal stuff at the end if you watch this video. I love you guys a lot. I'm John. And thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it.